In Pontotoc, Mississippi, Jeff and Deanne Stafford, their 3-year-old son Nolan, and dog AC often spend their time enjoying the pristine beauty of a lake near their home. AC and Nolan have become inseparable. In fact, the dog's bond with Nolan brought about a miracle that changed these people's lives. AC, a Chesapeake Bay retriever, came into Jeff Stafford's life in 1994. Jeff adopted the horribly abused dog when it had been left at a veterinarian to be put to sleep. The dog was in serious condition. Jeff immediately noticed the animal was suffering the effects of the overuse of an electric shock collar.
When I got him, all his eyes were dilated, and they were just red. You can see now the color's back, but his eyes were dilated and like he's been shocked for several months. And he was real skittish. I couldn't do this right here by no way. He was definitely on death row. He had 2 days left. They were gonna put him to sleep on a Tuesday. I picked him up on a Sunday afternoon.
Jeff named the dog AC. Slowly, Jeff nursed the devastated animal back to health. In 1994, Jeff married Deanne, and soon, the couple had a son, Nolan.
Nolan is a lot like his father. He was always smiling. He was just a happy child.
But then, a terrifying incident would jeopardize young Nolan's life. In November of 1996, Jeff was away from home, and Deanne was doing yard work when she experienced every parent's worst nightmare. Nolan, then 17 months old, was playing in the yard with AC. He and the dog wandered off.
I just turned around and I did not see him.
Nolan? Nolan!
And of course I just thought, well, he's around here. They just probably walked around the side of the house. Well, I began to walk around the side of the house. And I noticed then that the dog was gone too. So I knew, okay, well, they're just walking around the house or something. I realized then that they had wandered off in the woods.
Hello, my name is Deanne Stafford. I was just out in the yard doing some work, and my son, Nolan, was outside playing, and I don't know, we have a lot of woods around our house, and I think maybe he wandered off into the woods with the dog. Nolan! AC! Nolan! Nolan!
Deanne was overwhelmed with fear.
And then I thought of our lake. It was the last thing, of course, that I thought of because it's just such a distance from our house. And I had never taken him down there. He had never been there.
Nolan! AC!
When Deanne reached the water's edge, Nolan was nowhere to be seen. Chills ran up her spine when she spotted her son's hat laying on the pier.
I remember just looking up and I just said, oh God, no, please let him be okay. Please.
Deanne scanned the waters for any sign of life and experienced a moment she will never forget.
Something startled me on the side of my left eye. And I looked, and about 15 feet around the pier, there's AC. And I looked down below him, and there's Nolan. Nolan's laying face down, hands up on the water, the bank, his chest down. He's still in the water. Well, I just said, oh God, no. And I ran over there and I picked him up and he was soaking wet and his mouth was full of black mud and was trying to breathe but having a difficult time doing it. From that point, I just tried to get him back to the best of my ability up to the top of the hill because he was so heavy. And I finally got back up here and the police were here and they took us to the hospital.
When Nolan arrived at the emergency room, his body temperature had plummeted to 80 degrees. Jeff rushed to the hospital.
When I walked in the room, it just about floored me because my boy's in a tent, Deanne's still crying, she's in shock, and the room's about 120 degrees.
I really had a hard time that whole time I was there dealing with my feelings of not watching him closely enough. I felt negligent, I felt guilty.
Deanne and Jeff believe little Nolan was rescued by a guardian angel in the form of their dog, AC. After doctors removed Nolan's clothing, Deanne noticed that his jacket and pants leg had been ripped, as if pulled by AC. Deanne also remembered that when she picked up Nolan's hat from the pier, it was soaking wet.
What we really feel like happened was Nolan fell off the boat ramp, and AC made an attempt to grab him by grabbing the hat, realizing that he did not get the child, and then went back in. I think Nolan was going toward the bottom, and AC grabbed his pants leg and torn, and made another attempt and just grabbed more clothing and swam to the side of the lake.
The child had no sense of danger. He likes to wander, and he wandered way down to the lake. He wandered into the water, and AC pulled him out.
Slowly, Nolan began to improve. Deanne and Jeff heard the good news. Nolan was going to recover.
Naturally, it was wonderful, wonderful feeling. But still, when I got home, I had nightmares. I kept seeing him in the lake. I kept seeing the dog there. I relived it a million times and still do. Then I realized that God had blessed me in a very special way.
To Deanne and Jeff, there was no doubt in their minds that they had witnessed a miracle.
This child could not swim. That's a known fact. So the dog being there and saving his life is nothing short of a miracle.
Go get it!
Today, Nolan is an active and happy 3-year-old, thanks to AC, who continues to remain Nolan's protector.
It's like his angel, it's his best friend, you know, it's his half-brother, how you want to call it. He's always there.
He got my lips.
I feel like that this was a sign that God is very real, that he works through all creatures, and that nothing is beyond his reach.